Did you know that the top 1% of the people in the world don't just get rich, but they stay rich and keep accumulating wealth, whilst you and me, like normal human beings, are chasing paychecks or salaries? The top rich are making sure that they take calculated risk, invest in businesses, and open even more businesses of their own to get to the next level. Now, today I want to discuss how the rich are getting richer and the entrepreneurs who bet big and won, and the stocks that turned ordinary investors into millionaires. So stick around, because this could change how the way you think about money forever. I mean, in part of this channel, or what I do on this channel, ladies and gentlemen, you know that I talk a lot about how to invest in stocks, because stock market is one of the ways that the rich are using to get richer, right? I mean, I've done so many videos on this channel to date on how you can invest in the stock market, how you can seek opportunities, but at the same time, I address this thing of risk to say that, look, you can make money in the stock market, but sometimes you need to take calculated risk. Yes, you have to start with buying ETFs, but you must strive to get to a point where you analyze a stock that has a massive potential to grow 100, 200, 1,000, 20,000%. Because imagine if you are having a stock that you have put money, let's say even 1,000, right? That company, imagine if that stock grows to 200%. How much money are you getting? Okay, 200%, let's take it to 2,000%. How much can that 1,000 grow to? These are some of the things that you need to think a lot about, because there are people who have turned $1,000 into $20,000. There are people who have turned $20,000 into $200,000. There are people who have turned $100,000 into investment into $2 million investment, and it is possible through investing in the stock market and taking some sort of risk, because without risk, right, you remain mediocre, you remain average, right? Because many people are investing into, of course, the stock market. Many people are investing into the S&P 500, which is a very good thing. But as an investor, you need to obviously strive to take it to the next level, where you start now choosing the companies that you want to put your money into, because without you doing that, you might not get or catch the train of the ultra rich. Because in as much as, yes, we talk about investing, which on this channel I talk mostly about the stock market, there is some sort of risk that you must take yourself and put your money into some of the stocks that have the potential to do so well. I mean, looking at some of the stocks that have done exceptionally well in the last 10 years, that have grown tremendously, you are looking at a stock like Nvidia. Nvidia in the last 10 years, it has went up by 25,000%. People that have turned $1,000 into $250,000, those that invested into Nvidia 10 years ago. You've got companies like Apple that in the last decade, they've went up by 1,200%. Which means that on this one now, these are the people that with the $1,000 invested onto Apple, they've generated roughly around $12,000 from that $1,000 they initially put, or as the initial investments. Now, can you start picturing what would happen if you put $5,000, $10,000? I mean, one thing that makes a lot of people to miss the opportunities is because we cannot control our emotions when we are investing. When the stock goes down, you panic and you want to sell that stock. But there are those kind of stocks that before they went up, before they generated this 1,000%, they started by obviously tanking so bad in a way that if you were not doing your own due diligence onto a stock or onto those stocks, you would have lost, or you had lost an opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, a company like Tesla, right? It has grown, or it was went up by 15,000%, meaning that 1,000 of Tesla that you invested 10 years ago, and 10 years ago, by the way, is 2015, right? If you had invested $1,000 onto Tesla in 2015, right now that $1,000 would be worth $150,000, which this is not rocket science, guys. These are the people, and there are people that have made this kind of fortune. There are people that have not sold their single share. Even, in fact, himself, Elon Musk, did you know that he does not actually sell his shares? What he does is that he uses ownership, or his shares ownership, the 20% that he owns of Tesla, he used that to get more funds, or to get to go and get loans, which is what he did when he acquired Twitter, or what is now called X. He did not take the 47 or that over $40 billion and sell his Tesla shares so that he can go and buy Twitter. No, no, no. What he did is that he used his shares, the ownership and the value of his shares of Tesla, as a collateral to say that go to financial institutions and say, borrow me $40 billion or over $40 billion to buy a Twitter or X. They gave him with using the Tesla shares as collateral, which is something that this is what the super rich does. So I'm telling you this story to say that there are people that have also been doing this and therefore not selling a single stock or not selling a single share. So if you think it's not possible to own a stock for 10 years, there are people that have owned stocks like forever. Guy like Warren Buffett, who's the investor of all times, he will tell you about the fact that he bought Coca-Cola or shares of Coca-Cola when they were still very, very low, and till to date he has never really sold the shares of Coca-Cola because it's a company that will forever be relevant. It's not a growth stock, but it's a company that people will always want to drink Coca-Cola, right? And what he's getting right now from Coca-Cola are massive dividends. I mean, if a company like Coca-Cola has grown over the years and has diluted, as maybe added more outstanding shares with Warren Buffett owning that company, what do you think that does? From the day he started investing into Coca-Cola to before maybe it started paying out dividends to now when they are paying dividends, can you imagine the kind of growth that he is seeing on his portfolio, not just owning Coca-Cola but also from dividends? Because if you did not know, his company right now gets paid like $778 million from Coca-Cola shares. This not only did it come because he invested a lot of money, but it's because he invested into this company during in its early days when a lot of people were not seeing Coca-Cola as the thing, as that company that will do very well. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, invested a lot of money into Coca-Cola, and have a look at what happens today. Talk about Tesla, right? You will know that the Elon Musk story of Tesla, it's one that if you have read or if you have seen his video explaining why Tesla and SpaceX started, as you and me can realize that guy, man, he's one of the guys that honestly he has to motivate you because he sticked around. There was a point in the story for Tesla. He said there was a point in time where he was left like with what, $40-60 million, and if Tesla did not find a breakthrough, that was the end of Tesla, right? But that last money which he had for Tesla under the company is the money that was able to, of course, turn the company Tesla around, and $800 billion. It's almost a $1 trillion stock, which is something that shows you that patience, perseverance, and taking a risk, it's something that is needed to an investor. So yeah, man, this video, I'm just here to tell you or to show you that there are so many people that have taken some sort of risk, and their risk are making them to a guy like Jeff Bezos, owner of Amazon, right? He quit a high-paying Wall Street job to sell books online in 1994. Amazon stock has grown by over 200,000% since IPO. But there are so many companies that have done so well. Over the 10 years, like I said, you've got Nvidia 25,000%, Apple 1,200%, Amazon 1,000%, Meta 500%, Tesla 15,000%, right? And these companies, had you taken also a step to go and own this company, you would probably be sitting at a good chunk of cash, right? And one thing that we are learning from the rich is that you never sell your shares. Rather, you go borrow money to do a business, to start a business, to grow your business, and not sell those shares. Because imagine if someone who is watching this video 2015, 2016, he owned Tesla shares, and maybe during 2021 COVID pandemic, when Tesla went up the roof, he decided to sell all his shares Where do you think that person is right now? Probably is regretting, because Tesla, where is at right now, not only have they grown in terms of the share price, but they've also splitted the stock, right, in terms of the share price, trying to make it affordable to so many people, which has been making those that own Tesla shares to continue gaining or continue receiving tons and tons of cash. Three things that is making the rich to do very, very well is, of course, they take strategic risks, unlike lottery gamblers. I'm not saying go bet lotto, but I'm saying take a chance and go put money into a specific company that you have done due diligence on, and see if you don't get to grow your money so well in a way that you end up saying, kissing your paychecks goodbye, and start now being an entrepreneur, a business person, because of the amount of returns you've generated. Number two, what they do is that, unlike us, or unlike normal people like you and me, how the rich get richer, it's simply because instead of getting profits and spending a lot of profits into buying liability stuff, they reinvest those profits to make more money. It does not mean that you have to quickly reward yourself after putting your money or investing your money into either property, into investing into a stock, and that stock maybe gives you 1000%, and all of a sudden you feel like you should sell everything and go buy your dream car, your dream house. It does not have to happen like that. First, you need to make sure that you are at that level, or you take your finances to the next level, and this is what the super rich are doing to get richer. The third point is that they are able to ignore the short term noise, the short term headwinds, right? I mean, in the short term, there are so many people that will tell you that a certain company will not do well, or they don't see a certain business booming right now. But let me tell you something, guys like Jeff Bezos, guys like Elon Musk, these guys, I don't think there were so many people that believed in them when their companies were going through the most. I mean, I was just telling you about the story about Tesla, when Elon Musk was left with a couple of $1 million until Tesla was officially bankrupt. Not many people believed him through that. And one thing that made him to win is because he had it. He had this thing in mind, that this thing can work. He never lost hope. He just kept on pushing hard. And this is one thing that makes the winners win, or that makes the big money, or the smart money, as some people would call them, to keep on winning. Because as you and me are complaining about how the stock share price is doing, how the performance of a certain company in terms of the share price is doing, some of these big guys are evaluating and are seeing beyond where that company could be in the next coming decade, in the next coming 5 years, and they are putting as much as they can into that company. And guess what? In the next few years, the very same guys are going to be seeing their net worth doubling, tripling, which is something that it's the game that they've been playing, which is something that I think you and me can take a lesson from that. So all I'm trying to say here on this video, if you are to forget anything I said, is that, look, the secret of the rich, or why the rich are getting richer, is because they take strategic risks. There is some sort of risk that they take for them to be where they are, or for them to continue being rich. They shut off their ears to the short-term noise, or the short-term headwinds that might be affecting a specific market or certain market. Do you remember that during the pandemic, there were some stocks that went down so sharply? I mean, prices of Brent crude oil went to a negative, and we saw so many oil stocks dropping like crazy, jet stocks dropping like crazy, traveling and leisure stocks dropping like crazy. But at the same time, those stocks right now, where they are, in a space of 5 years, they've doubled, tripled, they've grown 10 times, 100 times, some of them, which these are the opportunities that when the world was panicking, the rich were investing. It is for that reason that you just heard, maybe during or amidst the pandemic, there were guys that were hitting all-time high in terms of their wealth, because they knew that they have to shut down the noise and try to focus to see where they can invest their money. And guess what? Today they are super ultra rich, because they managed to shut down the noise amidst people complaining, amidst people panicking in the whole world, and rather put or reinvest some of the profits that they generated from their other assets. These are some of the things that the rich keep on doing, and it's a lot that Personally, myself, I'm still learning. I'm not rich, I'm not yet there, but I can tell you there are some things that I'm learning about how the rich make money, how the rich take it to the next level. And I have started taking some risks myself in terms of investing into stocks, right? There is one stock that I talk about on one of the other channel, and I always say that stock investing onto it sort of like heavily, because I know that it could be that stock that change my game completely, right? Or the investing game completely. While some of the people will be coming and saying, but why are you still investing into this stock? How can you be sitting at such loss? So rather sell this stock or this share and go look for other opportunities. But I'm not doing that because I know that it does not come easy. It requires some sort of discipline, and I have to be at that point where I just have to take risks, man. Because if you go out there and have an interview with some of these richest people in the world, they will tell you one thing: there was some sort of risk that they had to take. Without taking risk, mediocrity becomes a standard, right? Just being average. But I tell you, if you are the person that likes taking risk, this year you might not be far like myself, right? But in the next 5, 10 years, you couldn't be talking about a different story, a different ball game that probably is going to make you kiss your 9 to 5 goodbye. So tell me what you think about this. I'll see you on the next one, my dear friends. That is all from me. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See you on the next one, and God bless you all.